Another weekly greeting vlog, and yes, I am in yet another hotel. I've been in 3 hotels in like the past week. I don't know how long it's been, since July 30th, and today is the August 12th. Yeah, August 12th. So however many days that is, I've been in 3 hotels, which I do not like. I want to be home, which I should. It looks like I'm going to be home tomorrow or the next day, so fingers crossed that I can get home soon. But the reason I'm in a hotel, my air conditioning unit went out, and it was like 90 degrees in my house, and obviously that is not great. And it's very warm here in South Carolina, so I am in my hometown. I am going to my house every day to like check on things. But yes, the AC repairman came today. I've been here since Saturday in the hotel, and it's Monday, but the AC repairman came today, and right now we're gonna see if things stay working, and if they don't, we will replace the board in the AC unit. Again, I don't really know what that is, but he explained. And then the thermostat is off the thing that goes on the wall, and y'all are currently on AC. I have it turned off, but it's still making kind of noise. I'm about to turn it right back on though after I film, because I had to film like 2 other videos before this, and I didn't want to on when I was filming, but I'm about to turn it back on. We are going to go through my weekly TBR now. So the first book is the book that I read like 10 pages in every day. That is The Illustrated Crystallery. This is Guidance Rituals and 36 Magical Gems and Minerals by Maya Toll. This is a reference book, just all about different kinds of crystals and everything. So just learn about crystals. I don't think I'm going to give a star rating to this, as it is just a reference book. Yeah, that's what I'm reading in the morning. And today I will be starting a brand new book starting my August TBR today. I'll be doing the audiobook for Showtime, Magic, Kareem, Riley, and the Los Angeles Lakers Dynasty of the 1980s by Jeff Pearlman. The title's pretty self-explanatory. This is going all into the Lakers in the 1980s, and my favorite TV show last year is based on this book, Winning Time on HBO. The show sadly got canceled, but reading the book, this is, oh my god, like the font is so small, but as I said, I'm going to be doing the audiobook. My friend has already read it. He read it back when Winning Time got canceled, and I'm finally going to be picking it up. Then we have my mood read pick, which is One Brilliant Flame by Joy Castro. This is set in Key West in the 1880s against the backdrop of the Great Fire of Key West. It explores the luminous fates of consuming passion, encroaching peril in the face of insurrection, sacrifice, and inextinguishable hope. And lastly, we have my ebook, which is An Echo in the Bone by Diana Gabaldon. This is following a family during the American Revolution era with some time travel elements involved. Okay, I got to 24%, so I know that's not exactly a quarter, but I'm updating y'all anyway. This is Showtime, by Jeff Pearlman, the nonfiction book that I am listening to the audiobook of. I listened to like 4 hours of it, which is probably actually like 2 hours, but yeah, I went way over my reading time. It's almost 8 o'clock. I am very much enjoying this. I have no idea what I'm gonna rate it yet. Somewhere in the 4-star category, which it's like I give every nonfiction book I read like 4 stars. This is how it plays out. I don't know why that is. Do I have something in my hair? Or is it just all? I have not properly styled my hair again since like the 30th. It's been a long time. But we're here to talk about Showtime. Here are my notes in my little notepad. I love this little notepad. Like, here's one that's closed. Get these at Target. If you are a note taker in any way, annotating your books, anything like that, if you have social media presence, these things are just so nice to use. I don't know how much money they are. I did get them on sale because the school supplies was on sale. But yes, I totally love these little notepad things. Just so, and since I've been traveling so much, it's so much easier than taking a notebook. But this is Showtime by Jeff Pearlman. I started it on August the 12th, 2024. The writing, yeah, the writing does make me laugh out loud. Comedic writing. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I have laughed. And then I didn't realize McKinney, what even is his first name? was off so bad. Jack McKinney. Okay, I was like, is it John? Is it Jack? So Jack McKinney was Magic Johnson's first coach in the NBA, and he had a bicycle accident. Always wear a helmet. I did not wear a helmet as a kid when I was going all through the neighborhood, which wear a helmet because I had no idea this would happen. You could probably die, but he was in an awful biking accident. That was just him, and he hit his head. And now, whenever this book was, like 10 years ago when this book was being written, he has very bad memory. And so obviously he's probably a senior, yeah, he is a senior citizen at the point too, so I don't know what that plays into it as well, because old people, you know, their minds go, yeah, I don't know how to say all that, but he would be like, what were we talking about again? Or like, who is that? When it's somebody he would obviously know. And I just did not realize that his injury, he was in a coma for like 3 days, and then I don't know, like he was on something, maybe like a ventilator or something for 3 days, and then for weeks he was a vegetable. And usually somebody would not come back from this injury and from being brain dead. Suddenly, however, the Lakers were neon lights all on the Sunset Strip. Pow and boom and wow. Johnson and Nixon formed the NBA's fastest backcourt. Wilkes, the small forward, was gliding towards the rim. Haywood seemed revived, and Abdul-Jabbar, the stoic, standoffish icon, was smiling and laughing and having the time of his life. The Forum once the land where enthusiasm came to die was alive. The word is fun, said Haywood. We were really fun. I just like that paragraph, so I want to tell you about it. I think it's really interesting how Perlman started out this book. We started out with him sitting down interviewing McKinney, who a lot of people, my dad was a big NBA fan, but for the Boston Celtics, but were obviously the Lakers rivals, does not remember McKinney. And a lot of people just don't. And so I thought it was really interesting to start this book with the prologue interviewing the coach that is kind of forgotten. I would go with Claire. Claire's one of my favorite characters on the show. Claire Rothman. She was the event coordinator for the Forum. I don't know if that's her official. Okay, the Forum's vice president of booking. And yeah, I love her. But again, like the Forum's vice president of booking, these are the people we are being introduced to first in the story, which is totally like more so background characters. Now, I have done research on this dynasty and have watched the TV show, so I am more familiar with these people. But if you don't know really anything, or maybe you just have not seen the TV show and you just like, okay, yeah, Magic and Kareem, Pat Riley was their coach back then, but they're not going to know who all these other people are. So I think it was really interesting to, and we meet Jack Kent Cook, who everybody's like, yeah, Claire says he's a real sicko, and we'll get more on that in a minute. But I think more so people are going to remember Dr. Buss than they're going to remember this guy. I mean, obviously Jeannie Buss still owns the Lakers today, so the family still is. That's where the Lakers are. And Buss give definite Trump vibes. Some of these things I'm just like, disgusting. Like the things Trump is gross for, pretty similar. And then yes, I think that Jerry Buss and so many of these characters, like we were talking Jack McKinney, completely different things, but I think they both were living the American dream in a sense, especially for 1980. We don't have Ronald Reagan yet, but that whole era is just like materialistic. And Buss goes from being living in basically a hostel and with a ton of siblings in Wyoming into owning the Chrysler Building, trading the Chrysler Building for the Lakers. It's insane. Just these people. It was crazy. And then we go to Magic, who he had like 10 siblings. His dad was literally a garbage man, his mom a lunch lady, and he goes and signs this huge deal in Los Angeles. It's crazy the lifestyle these people were living. And then just all these people's love of sports. Obviously you can expect it from the athletes, and I think to run a to be well at running a team, how do you word it? To have a team be successful, I think the people in the office, the front office, and the owners need to love the sport. David Tepper, that's for you. It's just, you need that for your team to be successful. Just from what I've seen in sports, I think it's essential. And then paragraph 5 on page 8, this is what, or page 28, this is what happens when I'm not annotating a book. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I went to the wrong paragraph. So sports is one of the few things that has that effect on people. That's sort of unique power, how, yeah. And I heard people kind of talking about that with the Olympic closing ceremony last night. And then above all things, this is a quote, above all, though, he was a fan of resiliency. And I think that is something so prevalent to this story of the Los Angeles Lakers. And then they're talking about Jack McKinney here. So with that, the reporters met a man they had, with rare exceptions, never before heard of. Appropriately dressed in a dual brown suit with a dual brown tie, McKinney was neither charming nor effusive. He was as Hollywood as a tube sock. No slicked back hair, no $5,000 outfit. And I'm like, that is such foreshadowing for who the coach, who I would say the most famous Laker coach is. And I think this book does a great job at bringing Magic to life. Obviously we know who Magic Johnson is, but getting that charm, that charisma, it's done a great job at showing that on the page. Were they in California or heaven on page 34 is like that. And then, okay, these are just some random things. So a basketball team, which is the Jazz in 1970s New Orleans, that just seems like a bad idea. Like Spencer Haywood, they got him on a trade from the Jazz because he was like, New Orleans is a great city. I'm not gonna go play in Salt Lake. It's like in the 1970s, nobody was wanting to play in Salt Lake. And I think now people probably don't want to play in Salt Lake. But just thinking, New Orleans is still a pretty rough city. And in the 1970s, in the cocaine era of the NBA, that does not sound like a good idea. And then they move it to like Salt Lake City of all places. The really religious city and everything, just kind of funny. And then, on page 51, we are seeing, this is the chapter where we really get into who is Kareem. And yeah, I love Kareem, but who knew he was a prankster in the locker room? So there was one like really like lanky, skinny guy, and then this big bulky player. He switched out their shirts when they weren't there, and just little pranks that he was pulling. I'm like, and he's just like trying not to die laughing. And I was like, I did not expect that at all from him, not at all. And yeah, I think since we're a book channel, I think some of y'all will probably like this. This is about Kareem. For a young man, so oh yeah, this was definitely related with me. So we went to Catholic school. His parents were very Catholic, and yeah, just some of the things that these people at the school were saying. So for a young man who absorbed books, he was addicted to Greek tragedies and questioned doctrine. It was torturous. And man, I could relate to that. I was not obsessed with books when I was in high school though, but did y'all see that little dust thing fly by? Okay, and the Magic and Kareem, the way because we get a chapter showing Magic in high school and all of that, and then choosing to go to Michigan State and even wanting to play for the Pistons. He was like, I'll play for the Lakers for 3 years, but then I want to go play for Detroit because that's home. And then we're seeing Kareem's upbringing in New York City and his high school career, and choosing to go out to California where it was more open-minded at UCLA, and then being drafted not by the Brewers, the Bucks. And just how they had very similar by skill. They were both very sought after players. They were all being interviewed. Like I've seen this with Zion Williamson. I don't want to compare him to these greats because no. But it would be high school games, so we would just see all these media, all these camera people being there. And obviously in this age where we have camera, like digital cameras and all, it's completely different than back in the 60s and 70s. But it's insane seeing it because Zion was the only one there getting cameras put in his face and interviewers and refusing to take pictures with me and my friends. It's all just so so Magic and Kareem both had that similar, but just how different they are as people, how different people handle fame was super fascinating to see. And then a guy my dad knows got name dropped, a guy he played golf with, so I had to mark that page so I can show him. And then the Kingdom in Seattle, I did not know This is a 1980 that the Seahawks, the Supersonics, and Mariners all played at the same arena. We do have teams like that today where we will see that will be playing at the same stadium. You see hockey example here is the Carolina Hurricanes and NC State basketball play at the same arena, but all three major league teams playing at the same arena, and obviously it did cause scheduling conflict in the book. And then Spencer Haywood, yeah, it's sad what he was going through with drug addiction and everything, and he even almost put a hit on his coach. Crazy. I'm glad that he survived, because hearing him talk now, it's obviously on the TV show we're seeing him as he's going through this addiction, but seeing where he's come now, I think that's great to see that he made it out of this alive, because probably a lot of people didn't. I know a lot of people from cocaine addiction don't make it out alive. But those are my thoughts on not winning time on Showtime so far. I am just gonna chill a little bit, then have some desserts, and edit my YouTube video, and go read in my mood read, and maybe I'll have an update for y'all. I don't know if I will or not. The moon is so weird tonight. Okay, obviously these are street lights or parking lot lights, whatever. It's really orange, and it's just coming in and out. I don't know if it's clouds or smoke or something. Okay, there it is, there it is. Like, it looks like there's an eclipse, which I looked and there's not one, but that is the moon right there. I lost it. Where'd it go? Right there. Moon. See, he's just going in and out, in and out. Like, moon, are you okay? Just in and out of the clouds. I'm gonna see what stage or phase the moon is at. See, guys, doesn't it look orange? Let's do a zoom out. And from a distance, it looks orange. But it's not when I'm filming, right? Reading in bed. Yeah, I haven't cut my bangs again in like 3 weeks. It needs to happen. But am I about to get Chernobyled? My dad was like, what's happening in Augusta? And I was like, what's happening in Augusta? I looked it up and nothing comes up. He told me that the nuclear plant there, unknown emergency reported. And like Waynesboro, Georgia, I have no idea where that is. And then the South Carolina Emergency Management Division put there's an alert declared. Now this, like, nothing will probably happen to me as this is 2 hours away from me, but like, what? Yeah, I have no reading update yet for y'all. I am reading Showtime. I just got to where I wanted to get to in these reading sprints, because it's just me. But I'm trying to pick out like on this window. Nope, it stays still. I'm really hungry. I'm about to go get some Italian food, some ravioli. But yes, I am leaving the hotel today sometime later. I don't know if it's going to be like right now or if it's going to be after we eat. I think it'd just be good to do it right now, but it's not up to me. I'm really cold. I had the AC on in here to 68 last night. I do have long sleeves on. When I got this shirt out of the drawer, I did not realize it was a long sleeve one. So yes, I'm wearing long sleeve in August, but I mean, nice overcast. We love that overcast weather. Let's see what this does. Look, S trucks, I love them. That's one of my weird things. But I'm waiting to see what my plan is for the rest of the day. As you can see, I am home. I did come home after getting lunch. I do want to give y'all a Showtime update. I got to 45%, so not quite 50, but I am just pretty tired, and it would have been another like 20 pages to get to reading over 100 pages. There are 92 pages in here. My first note is just the foreshadowing of what the NBA comes to the NBA that we know today. Obviously the Lakers pretty much shaped it by the Showtime era, having the girls, the dancers, and just making it a whole experience going to a game, where you can see that with pretty much any team today. I'm thinking of the Charlotte Hornets. I've not been to a game in a few years, and yeah, we're not, I could go there, but I'm not. But right time you walk in, they have their like cheerleaders who are just not in a lot like what the Laker girls were wearing back then. Is very conservative to what they were now. It's a whole experience going to a sporting event now, and this is what shaped that. They were talking about going to a club and just saw the amount of white girls coming up to them, and I'm like, just think of now the NBA players and the groupies and everything. It's insane. So I also didn't really I knew that Norm Nixon and Magic Johnson had a kind of a feud, kind of a rivalry, and I didn't realize the extent of it because I had obviously only seen what was on the TV show and in documentaries, when this is like they were sleeping with the same girls and all of this, going to the same clubs, and just I did not realize it went that far. Okay, so Michael, isn't Michael, I know his last name, but Kopechek, who is currently the GM for the Charlotte Hornets and a UNC guy, so I liked him already. But okay, page 127. So there's a whole lot of stuff of how he was just very eccentric, and he ate the majority of his meals at Denny's and IHOP, and yeah, so like there's some stuff. But when they went to the White House in 1978 with the Bullets, I did not realize the Bullets won then, but okay, they go to the White House to meet President Jimmy Carter. A memo went out reminding all guests to wear jackets and ties. Kopechek arrived in jeans and sneakers, sand socks, like Joe Kelly, the OG Joe Kelly. That scared me. And then, okay, then we have Magic and Cooper go to Denny's. And I was like, that's so wholesome. It's like, okay. Cooper became tight with both Johnson and Nixon, in part because he was fun-loving and charismatic, in part because he was a threat to neither man, on or off the court. I really got to know Magic well during training camp his rookie year, Cooper said. He'd always knock on my door to wake me up for breakfast, knowing full well I wasn't a breakfast person. That became my routine, walking over to Denny's to grab breakfast together. I would have a newspaper and he'd say, "Coop, give me the sports." We had a real bond that comes from togetherness. Same with me and Norm, a bond like a brotherhood. And I was like, why is that wholesome? I thought the Denny's scene was so cute. And oh my gosh, one of my favorite lines from the TV show that I think is so funny and I quote all the time is actually a quote from the book, where it's, "The almond tree bears its fruit in silence. This was not Shakespeare. It was a Paul Westhead original," because on the show he's like, that was a Paul Westhead original, and I just thought that was so funny. And who knew it came from the book? And then just LOL at the press conference of them saying that Pat Riley is the new coach, but they're like, he is our head coach and Jerry West is our offensive coach, which in basketball that's not a thing. So people were like, okay, who's the coach? And it was just so confusing, and like the author compares it to being basically just like an SNL skit because of how chaotic it was. It's on YouTube if you guys would like to see it, and it's just, I knew that had happened, but still it made me laugh because it was just so chaotic. And also, okay, so well, we talked about it with the NBA, there's hoes, but how many times those books say big breast and long legs? I'm like, we get it. There's Playboy bunnies everywhere. Like, we get it. How many, like, and I won't know all the tea, but every time, like, you don't need to say big breasts, like, every other chapter. Okay, and then, so we go into Pat Riley's, like, backstory, and obviously he played at Kentucky. And I don't know, that's obvious, but he played at Kentucky. And so Rupp was the coach, which I did not know that. I just know in Lexington there's a ton of stuff named after this guy. So he was racist. He was like saying the university was making him have black people on the team. He said slurs. And then all the players hated him, white and black players alike. So I'm just kind of shook that the arena is named after him. I'm pretty sure it still is. And I've heard a lot of things about Kentucky being kind of sleazy, like not being a good place, the university. But yeah, so I'm just kind of shocked that that hasn't been changed, or just that they named it after this guy in general. And then I didn't know Pat Riley had been drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. Did not know that. He was a quarterback in high school, a catcher, and then obviously a basketball player. And then yeah, the Kurt Rambis scenes were killing me. This guy is so weird. Like, he was living on an air mattress in his high school friend's dining room, and when all like the rest of the team who like didn't have families just had apartments all in the same complex. And I'm like, what is this dude doing? And he would get free soda everywhere, like where they would offer, you know, free soda, and he just had a closet full of full soda that he wasn't drinking, just cases of sodas. Like, what? Linda Rambis, she works for the Lakers, but that's his wife now. But back then when they first met on their first date, he was judging her for, he thought she was weird for playing video games, and she's like, who is Kurt Rambis to think that I'm weird? And so I thought that was funny. And those are all of my thoughts today. I am going to go have some dinner. Like, guys, I've not like any caffeine. I am so tired, but I'm going to move a headboard that is what's in the background of my sit down videos to actually start using it as a headboard again, and then put bookshelves on that wall. So is this a good idea? I don't know, but I'm just gonna start moving stuff off that shelf, off the headboard that is a bookshelf. That was so, in high school we had to write papers about descriptive writing like an atmospheric scene, so describing your bedroom. And when people would edit my paper, they just did not understand that my headboard is literally a bookshelf. Like, it's a bookshelf. And they like, nobody would understand me. And I'm like, it is, we're not allowed to have phones, so I can't show you a picture or anything, but that's how it be. And so I'm just going to go start moving things off of that shelf, and then might move it in here today. I don't know how heavy it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be really heavy, so we'll just have to see. Got it in here. All the Funko Pops. So I move it all the way into this room. The Funko Pops stay the whole time. I get to my room and they fall. I got rid of my desk chair. That, I didn't get rid of it. I'm just gonna take it to the storage unit, which, again, I go on this rant every time. And this is why I was mad on my birthday. I've been asking for a PC computer for a year and a half now, because that's how I would work on it. I would communicate with my friends by getting to talk to them through video games, and I just had an awesome time. And I mean, it took one of my hobbies away, which was playing video games. I can't tell you the last time I played a video game. I don't want to cry, but I can't tell you. It was one of my favorite hobbies for over 10 years. And I haven't been able to play a video game since. And it's like, yeah, you could buy a computer and set up. Okay, I don't want to spend $1,000 of my own dollars. And I know people have told me I can look up how to do it and all that, but no. I'll read directions and get so frustrated I will probably punch the computer screen. I don't know how to set up a computer. And so I would need my dad to help me, and he just refuses. So, I hated getting rid of my gaming chair, because I bought the gaming chair because yeah, y'all know my TMJ and all of that. So it was just really nice to have a gaming chair that had a massage option. It had the pillow, and then my computer died a few months after that, so I never really got to use my gaming chair. So I'm just gonna take it, because I could put it in the garage, but it would just get all gross with bugs and mice and who knows what else out there. So I'm just gonna take it to the storage unit, and I hate that. I really, really hate that, because it really feels like, yeah, I'm crying. I'm really crying. I guess it makes me feel like, yep, I'm never gonna get a computer and never gonna game again. Yeah, emotional, I know. So I got all of that. I do need to like put all those Funkos and books back on there. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be getting like 4 new bookshelves, which is nice, and we'll get books off the floor. That's great, but at what cost? I went back from Target, and I meant to turn on the ring light for y'all to make it easier to see me, or whatever. Make it easier for the camera, I don't know. But I am so happy for myself. I got caffeine. I have caffeine. This is basically my Stanley cup. I got this cup for free and it keeps my drink cold for literally like 48 hours. You're like, you have a drink in there for 48 hours? Yeah, I suck. I just put my like caffeine drinks in here. Water, I drink just straight out the like Deer Park water bottles. And then my milk, I drink out of a mug. And those, I have put Gatorade in here, but that's what's my caffeine's in there right now. And I'm so happy to have caffeine because I didn't have any yesterday, so I feel just so much better, like mentally and everything, once I have that caffeine in my system. And oh, my eye's kind of itchy. What's in my eye? Okay, but I did get some other stuff. I got a Aveeno foot mask. I've probably been needing one of these for years. I did not know they existed. I looked it up because I have calluses all on my feet, and I have for years, like not continuously, but y'all know I've just been traveling so much lately, and when traveling I've been walking, so I'm not gonna put it on my foot, my left foot, where I have a really bad blister. Watch last week's vlog for that. Since that's still healing, I just don't think it would be a good idea to put these on, but I will. My left foot, or my right foot, I think will be fine. I don't really have any open wounds on my right foot, so I just have calluses on my feet and they're gross and I want to fix them. And oh my gosh, I have hair in my eye. Okay, and then I did get one book, and that is 12th Night by Alexine Farrell Fullmouth. I'm pretty sure this is a young adult book, but as you can see, it's even in Reese's book club. And one of my friends, he got it recently, or I don't remember if he got it or he was thinking about buying it. And then I did it on, oh my gosh, I'm running out of storage, but I did it on the Storygraph, and it was one for me. But let's see what book it got compared to, because I honestly don't remember. I think it's gonna be one of the Beartown books. I just feel like that's the most fitting because sports. So 12th Night, but night as in knight in shining armor. So this is a contemporary romance young adult. It's by Tor, which I thought Tor just did fantasy books. Okay, it actually doesn't get compared to any of them when I did it this time around. I thought it did, but look at the edges, and then get my receipt out of there because don't need my hard information stolen. These are the end pages. Is the back end pages the same? Yeah, so those are the end pages, and then this is the front cover. I don't know how book prices haven't gone up since this is just a normal edition of the book you can buy. I don't know how the prices haven't changed, but I didn't even tell y'all what this is about. So this is a young adult romantic comedy coming of age story about taking up space in the world and learning what it means to let others in. But I know there's like a lot of like video game and online spaces and football, and I love all those things, so I thought that it was intriguing. All right, I got to 72% in Showtime today, which I read 112 pages. That's what I'm telling y'all, caffeine will do that to you. And yesterday I didn't want to hit 100 pages. I read like 12 more than 100 pages today, so props to me. I do have notes. I was like, I'm not gonna have that many notes today, but you know, here I am starting over here. So on 197, more of the foreshadowing. Is this about the groupies again? Like, the NBA is the one league that I would not mess with. Like, if I was going after players, the NBA is the one that I would stay clear from. It's just so rampant and crazy, and there's so much drama that comes with the NBA. Like, it is insane. Like, I would not want to date an NBA player. No. Okay, 197 was the page that I said, right? Yeah, 197. What is happening in 197? Yeah. The groupies would be lined up in the hotel in short skirts or tight leather pants. They'd be lined by the dozens, and they would line up. The guys would go to their rooms. The girls would line up one by one to go to the payphones and would leave notes for the players. And for players like Johnson and Nixon, there were like 30 or 40 girls lining up for them. Insane. Like, I don't even want, like, now, because it's so much easier to gain access with social media and everything. Like, think of LeBron James if you went to his Instagram, like, message requests. I don't even want to know. I don't. It would be hundreds. Yeah, chapter 10 in this was like pure debauchery. Linda Rambis compares it to being, they were like a rock band. And yeah, there's a quote in The Dirt, which is the Motley Crue biopic, where Mick Mars is like, don't you guys realize that all these girls who are screwing you are screwing every other band that comes through this city? And yeah, that is what was happening here. On 210, we get resiliency mentioned again, and I do think that is such a big theme with this book and with the Lakers dynasty at this time period. Also, we have where I saw where the TV show came from. It was a Pat Riley quote where he said winning time too, so that's where that came from. And then just the similarities between players. On the show, it talks about how Magic had a son, or has a son, who is not with a woman he was in a relationship with. He's a part of the kid's life and everything. Like, you can look at Instagram, they are very much like father-son. But they talk about that on the show. They have not mentioned that in the book at all. But then there was a paternity case against Nixon, who I don't know if it was true or not. It didn't really say, so that's something you would have to look into. And then Larry Bird, he had it's in his one of his autobiographies, if you want to know what I'm talking about, but a daughter with a woman who was his wife, and then they broke up, and found out she was pregnant after they broke up and all of that. So it's just like all of this time, all these players just have so many similarities, and even when it comes to paternity cases. And we finally got to that rivalry with Boston. I mean, obviously early on in the book, we saw the Bird and Magic, how they played on the U.S., I don't think it was an Olympic team, but they played for a U.S. national team. Then in college, in March Madness, they went head to head. So seeing it finally come to this, and just the craziness of Boston, it's insane. And that's the thing with this, the years are hard to follow, because we're just going through these all through the 80s, and I'm like, okay, are we in the 84-83 season? Are we in the 84-85 season? It might say it once at the start of the chapter, and then I'm not going to remember that. So I just wish there would be more clarity of what year each chapter is, or yeah, I guess each chapter is taking place in. Then, yeah, all these people, even these people who only come on the team for a few months, are such characters. And my friend who's already read this, he talked about them being like, this is making the myth, making the legend. And yeah, it's so true that even just everybody's included in this. Also, I didn't realize that Magic Johnson was such a sensitive person to the media and a lot of stuff. It does make perfect sense for somebody who is in the center of attention. They are, most of the time, I think, caring what people think about them. And I think famous people in general really do care. And yeah, I didn't really expect that from him, but it makes sense. And then so much of this fanfare couldn't happen today. Like, when Kareem was playing in Boston. So if you don't know, before Kareem converted to Islam, his name was Lou Alcindor, and they were all just like chanting his former name. And that was something that would just really, really make him mad, because I mean, that's not his name anymore. That was who he was before. And yeah, like today, that I don't think that would pass. But then again, you have some crazy stuff that happens today. And then the Riley marriage, I just thought those dynamics were really interesting. So you have Chris, who is the wife, and she is the voice. She tells everyone what Pat's thinking when Pat's the nice guy. Not wanting, like, yeah, she's the one who does the putting it all out there, and she would really try to get in with the wags, the wives of the players, when she's the coach's wife, and she would like arrange everything, and they were just like, okay. Then, yeah, egos all around. When you think of greatness, and there are going to be people with extreme egos, and just seeing how egos can tear things apart, they can bring things together. Egos, it's very important. And then Cookie, she finally gets here. That is who Magic Johnson is married to even now, and she was one of my favorite characters on the show. So I'm excited that she's finally made here. And Michael Thompson, who is my favorite NBA player's father, Klay Thompson's dad, and one of my favorite MLB, did I say NBA? I did mean NBA for Klay. And then Trace Thompson was one of my favorite Dodgers, who I did not know that Michael's brother, Colin, I can't read my handwriting, that he was a Dodger outfielder in the minor leagues, but still there was already a Dodger connection that far back. And then Alex English got mentioned, who my dad has met and seen several times. And he's Alex English, who is like one of the great Gamecock basketball players from South Carolina. He sued Kareem, and I did not expect that. I was not expecting that name drop, and I was not expecting to be that he was suing Kareem. So those are the thoughts today. I made some mac and cheese that looks really good, so cannot wait to go eat that. And yeah, I know, like I was talking in my ASMR video that I've just been wanting fall food. Like I want to use my crock pot, and it's really cold in my house. Like it feels like fall time in my house. The high today was 86 and the low is in the 60s, so it's like, yes, we're getting closer to fall. It's getting closer every day. Got to over halfway. I'm at 61% in One Brilliant Flame by Joy Castro, and it's Fred this time jumping down. And I am not feeling too strongly towards this book at all. It is definitely in the 2-star category. The characters are all like caricatures. I'm totally butchering how you say that. We have, okay, so Zenaida is definitely the more developed of the character, or of the characters. I wouldn't say I like her, but I do think I don't hate her either, but she's definitely the better of the characters. And we have Sophia, who is the daughter of a rich factory owner, and she is just the rich girl wanting to rebel, wanting her own independence. And we have Shavetta, who is the I'm not like other girls, and who is like the very, you know, dresses like a man, Arya Stark kind of character. And so all these characters, you can have these basic tropes of characters, but you can make them good. But here, they are not developed. Their relationships, and there are even male characters I didn't even name that I'm just like, they are so lacking to the rest of this book. I don't get the point of having them as POVs. But you can have all these tropes, just make them more developed. The relationships between all those girls I just said are not believable to me. I'm like, and on what planet would all these people be friends? This is set after the Civil War, in the late 1800s United States in Florida. So I don't understand how all these people of all these different social rankings are friends and interacting with each other. I just think it's a bit unrealistic. As for atmosphere, yeah, it's good. I am learning a lot about Key West. I have been to Key West, but honestly, I knew none of its history. They didn't tell me any of its history when I was there. I went to Hemingway's house. That's like the most historical thing I did there. As for writing, it is really choppy. I want to show y'all the prologue, just to show y'all these paragraph breaks. There's so many of them. Of going from like one scene to another. It's just a bit excessive to me, and therefore makes it choppy. But this is so fast paced because there are some POV chapters. This is chapter 65. That short. So it's definitely fast and easy to read. And it does read rather young. This is not marketed as a young adult book, but it's a young adult book. They may swear, there may be some scenes that are implying sex, but I think that a young adult audience, a high school audience, could read this book and enjoy it more than I'm enjoying it. As for plot, again, it's very informative for what relations were like between America and Cuba in the 1800s. And I think this is the Spanish-American War that is happening. I don't know anything about the Spanish-American War except we got Puerto Rico, and did we get Hawaii? I don't know, but I don't really know what was all happening with the Spanish-American War. And again, I didn't really know about America's relations with Cuba prior to like the last century, the century I was born in. Also, something kind of annoying with One Brilliant Flame is that they have to keep bringing up every like great 19th century novel, or rather Anna Karenina must have just got published, War and Peace, the kind of Monte Cristo, Les Mis, they are all getting mentioned in this, and I'm just like, we get it, y'all like literature and you're in the 1800s. There's not a lot of intrigue for me since I'm not really feeling a connection to the characters or caring for them. So I do want to know what happens historically, which, yeah, it's like I could DNF and just go look at the Wikipedia page. But no, I want to just, this is easier just to go finish out this book and seeing what all was happening in this time period, foreign relations in the 1800s. I want to know how all that goes down, but I don't really care what will happen to our characters. So that's One Brilliant Flame. This is, I was wondering, is Lake Union, I saw it's an imprint of Amazon and I knew that, but is this a self-published work? Because I know you can self-publish books on Amazon, so is this self-published, indie published? I don't know. Can y'all let me know if you're aware? But that is my update for Wednesday. I will see y'all tomorrow. Finished Showtime. It's Thursday, but yes, I did finish the book. I'm giving it a 4.5, so I really enjoyed it. It's not my favorite nonfiction I've read this year, but still it's up there. I loved it. Let's go into why. So we will start with characters, because I mean, this is nonfiction, but the author did a great job at just bringing all these characters to life, really shaping their personalities and showcasing that on the page. From bringing the actual people to the page, I think the author did just a great job executing that. That it wasn't just focused on the stars, because for an organization to become a dynasty, every little person behind the scenes on the court all matters into making that greatness. And I love seeing the team dynamics between the players, the dynamics between the players and their like wives and families, and all that goes into building something like this, because you're not going to be successful without having all those relationships. Then the writing is very accessible. As I said earlier at the start of the vlog, it's comedic, and therefore I think that just makes it all around better, because a lot of people are scared of nonfiction. They're scared that it's going to be dull, that it's going to be boring, but no, it was rather comedic, medium paced, so very easy to read. But I did have issues with the seasons and the years, because chapters would go on, as I said, like 20 pages, and I'd be like, okay, what season are we in? What year is this taking place in? Because it could have said all the way in like the first paragraph of the chapter, but if I'm 15 pages in, I'm not going to be remembering just a 4-number thing. And that was one of my biggest like gripes with this book. But yes, I think this was such a great story to tell, and I would love to see a book like this from the Boston perspective, the Boston Celtics. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I do think this is a story that, yes, definitely, I mean, it's a legend, essentially an American legend, and it was just so much chaos was happening, and I think that again that plays into greatness. It's not going to be easy to be as great as the Lakers were and to build what the NBA is today. I think this team, this era, was the foundation for that, and also the TV show did a great job at making an adaptation of this nonfiction book. So yes, I highly recommend that. I am going to do my review and all this, then eat some dinner and be on here later. I got to over 75% into One Brilliant Flame, and yeah, this is, I'll go through call pal for y'all. So characters, I would give a 1, atmosphere a 3, writing a 2, plot a 3, and intrigue a 2. And then logic, I never know what to give logic, but enjoyment would be a 2. So y'all can average all that out, do the math, divide all those numbers, add up all those numbers, divide by 6, and you get what this book is going to be ranked. But obviously I will find out logic at some point. I just only struggle with that. I said some things like believability, so we'll give logic a 2 or 3. We'll see what I end up doing, because I need to find out how the book ends before I can do that, which I will be finishing this tomorrow, so be sure to check out my Goodreads But if you guys are curious what book will be featured in next week's vlog, it is going to be The Library Book by Susan Orlean, which is my buddy read this month. So if you guys would like to read this book over the weekend or next week, feel free to do so, because this is what we're going to be reading. I love this edition. It's so beautiful. Here's the end pages, and then the other end pages. Is such a cool book, and that's nonfiction, and again will be the book that we mainly talk about in next week's vlog. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a fruit emoji in the comments below, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.